They might get their name on the show one day.
Mate, mate, what an honour that is. Okay, sorry, I was about to realise I had a big pile of shit. Have to edit that in.
Hello, I'm Dave Duffin, and today's special guest is a construction manager. Hard-working, honest, as the day on Survivor is hot and long. Please welcome Craine. Hey mate, how you going?
Thanks for having me, Dave.
What have you been up to?
Well, we're over here. We're in Fiji,
Right.
2025. We're working on Survivor sets. I've currently been building Tribal Council, season 49.
Wow, must be good.
It is good. It was a good set. It was challenging. Never done anything like it before in my life.
Right.
And then we've finished that up now, and they're currently filming that, and we've just moved over to a location nearby
Yep, right.
and started working on season 50,
Wow.
the big one.
The big one.
The big
Wait till
one.
100.
Well, it's funny you say that. I never thought it would come this far. I went to the I actually went to season 20 for season 20's Survivor party.
Is that when you joined or something?
I started in season 19
Wow.
when I was 22.
Wow, okay.
And I was there for season 19 and season 20 because it was the first year that they decided to do two locations. Sorry, they decided to do one location per year and do two seasons in the one location.
That's right. And where was that? The Philippines?
That was in
Or
Samoa.
earlier? Samoa.
Samoa in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I remember being there for the party in season 20. It was the biggest thing ever.
I bet.
You know.
And a lot of the crew are still there.
A lot of them, yeah, became good mates with a fair few of them. That's the reason why I'm back here now for these later seasons. Yeah, a lot of the crew. There's not as many left in the art department, which is where we work.
Yeah.
But now it's a bit of a different department now. It's a bit quieter these days.
Right.
There's a lot of big characters, big names, and big loud voices and craziness that used to be there back in the day. It's a bit more chill now, I think. You know, with the Filipino and Cambodian culture, and
Gotcha.
they're a bit more respectful than the crazy Aussies.
Yes.
Queenslanders.
So Fiji now. So where do you live? Back home.
Back home, I live in a little coastal town up on the north of the sunny coast there, Coolum Beach.
Right. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, we're about 900 metres as the crow flies
Okay.
from the water.
So it get hot up there? Or?
It gets hot in summer, yeah, but it's not enough to complain about.
And is that where you were born and raised?
No, born in Nambour,
Right.
and then my parents then decided to move up to North Queensland to Coranda, out west of Cairns. Nambour is just probably a lower demographic area of the Sunshine Coast, which used to be where the Army Hospital was.
Oh, right. So it's up in that area.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so you're not too far from there.
Not too far from where I was born. Yes.
Okay. Is that good for your career, or is it just where you take a break and chill out?
Back home, I'm kind of more in the grind as a parent, just trying to make an income, just trying to get by.
Gotcha.
You know, we're working construction back home. Film's not really my thing.
So your title role on this show is what?
Construction manager, yeah.
Okay.
And back home, I was also construction manager, for a residential builder.
Okay, so you've
Similar
done
thing.
the glamour and you've done the...
Correct, yes.
The glitz.
Yeah. Yes. Spent the last, pretty much when I finished up
Right.
on Survivor, prior to, coming home and getting married and having kids.
Right.
I kind of started moving into management roles
Okay.
back home in construction.
Kids will do that. I mean, you need the continual income, get them through school, and they need a place where they can have a base, a beautiful base. But you can't deny that travel is some of the best things you can have give your kids.
Could never deny it. No, could never deny it. For me, it took so long to come back to Survivor because I didn't want to leave my children.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Okay.
so 10 solid years of just doing the 7 till 4 back home,
Yeah.
having the weekends at home and working hard and staying with my kids and missing this gig over here.
Yeah.
I really missed it. I would dream about it.
Yeah,
I would honestly
true.
dream about being on a beach with locals, building challenges and having fun like I did like I was younger. But it was the most important thing for me was being at home with my kids and my wife.
Yeah, but then you've also got to be happy. If you're miserable,
Correct.
It's not good
I was miserable.
either.
I was miserable, Dave. I was very miserable. I wasn't miserable when I was with my kids and family, but I was miserable in my workplace.
yeah.
Miserable.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But I looked at it differently back home. The job was, I was providing.
Yeah.
I was providing for my family. It was more that I had a purpose. My purpose was to go make an income and provide for my family.
Yeah.
But I would put on a brave face, turn up at work because I know that it's important to work hard, have a good work ethic. Someone's paying you.
Yep.
Good day's pay for a good day's work. You got to turn up no matter what. Whether you like it or not, someone's paying you. You got to work. I've always been huge on that. That's what I was taught. But I put on a brave face for a good solid decade back home because I had to do it.
Yeah. Cool.
And at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. I still had a job. We got food on the table, and I was not actually doing it tough. I just wasn't happy in my workplace. I couldn't find the passion, like I do here. The spark.
Everybody needs to work, for self-esteem. You've got to think about the mother side as well. I've experienced where it'd be the same for your wife too. Do you find that, or?
I wanted to make sure she could be a full-time stay-at-home mum and didn't have to go to work and leave our kids in daycare.
Right.
I wanted her to be the one to raise our kids, not someone in daycare.
Which is fantastic. It's what you want.
So that was my goal. No matter how hard I had to work to make that happen,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that we weren't dropping our kids off to get raised by someone else. So I wanted her to be that person.
It's very nice, mate.
And I pushed hard, and whether I had to sacrifice my own happiness to make that happen, it was a long-term investment for my children.
Well, that's turning out good in the long run.
Yeah, well, you got to meet the kids here, so it's good. They're amazing. I love my little kids. They give you a sense of
What's
purpose.
their names?
My eldest is Elkie. She's 9. My son, he's the middle one. He's 6, and Navy's 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
They might get their name on the show one day.
Mate, what an honour that is. I'll tell you. I wrote to Zachy in a message the other night and just couldn't tell him how grateful I feel that he put the name on the boat.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
it's very gratifying.
We know where you grew up, but what was your family life like? Do you have brothers and sisters? Tell us about your parents and your family.
Yeah, I thought you'd ask a question like that, and it could get a bit deep and
Deep's
go down
good.
a dark road.
Deep's
But
good.
I had good parents. Mum and Dad were good. Dad worked hard.
Right.
He was a carpenter as well.
Okay.
So I got to do my apprenticeship with him.
Gotcha.
Times were pretty tough when I was growing up. That Mum and Dad, they made sure we got the things that we wanted, and we played the sports and the school excursions and things like that. We all got to do those things. It was good. I had 2 older sisters. One ended up. She's a bit sad actually. She turned out to be a drug addict. It wasn't the. It's a strange one because I try to look back on my childhood and find happy memories.
Right.
And sometimes I have to dig deep for them because those harsher, sadder memories come up first.
I see.
So it was.
Was she older than you?
Yeah, she was older. I was the youngest, younger than her by about 3 years.
Okay. That must have been really sad.
It was sad, but it's and I feel sad for anyone, but I feel sad for her who suffers with substance abuse and mental illnesses.
Right.
I don't want anyone to go through that. It's horrible.
Right.
And now I'm a parent myself. I guess my number one objective, would be to protect my kids from that. and make sure that I can do everything in my power that they don't go down that road, because it's horrible. You know, you don't want to see any teenager go down that road, and you don't want to see any parent have to watch their kid.
So was that when you were a teenager or 16?
It probably started
17?
from when I was about 10 years old, and I was maybe a bit younger. I was pretty young.
Right. Yeah, I mean, 10, it's an interesting age because you're witnessing things, but you're not really old enough to understand.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a lot.
Did you find that you were having to? Did you just rely on yourself and your own imagination? Well, did you get the support?
I just remember always having this wish that everyone would be happy.
Ah,
You know, and it's funny. I still hold that with me today. I look around, and if someone's upset or someone's stressed in their workplace or somebody's having a relationship trouble, or you know, anywhere across the board, I just want everyone to be happy. I just wish that I could find a way.
and I can see that. I can see. You should see him on site, on location. You're up on the deck. You're yelling out orders, mate. You've got a positive vibe going on. He's got his shirt off. He's like Tarzan, swinging off the ropes. Yeah, I see where, and I can see where it's come from.
Yeah, well, it's. I look at, you know, a deep dark past of some sadness, and you know, and I just look through that dark cloud, and I just want to be in a happy, positive environment, no matter what. And it beats me up when I'm around saying, people, like, come on, we can do this, we can get happy.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
We can do it. That's the beauty in this place here. When I'm working with those boys,
Yeah.
I'm literally, it's like I'm feeling magic around them. They're great.
When you're not working, do you get down quick?
Not today. These days, I feel. It's been a fair while since I've you know, had to deal with any anxieties or stresses and things like that. I feel like I've gathered the tools in life to sort myself out. You know, went down some rabbit holes and found ways and made sure that, you know, one time I had this real stressful job.
Yeah.
I was a site manager for a commercial building company back home. And it was when my oldest daughter was probably about 1.5, I was bathing her.
Right.
You know, and when you're bathing, or when you're with your child, your number one goal should be to be fully engaged with your child. Put your phone away, be present with your child, because you're going to lose that moment. That moment never comes back.
Yeah.
And this particular moment, I for some reason pulled out my phone and read a work email that made me feel extremely stressed to the point where it was crippling, the anxiety. The anxiety of the email. I can't remember exactly.
Sick to your stomach.
Yeah, I remember being sick to my stomach and not being able to engage, you know, with the child, and it, you know, I think maybe even that night I might have lost a bit of sleep over it as well. And I remember the next day waking up and thinking to myself, if you can't find a way to do this without anxiety or stress, you move on and go do something else. Go do something else. So I spent a few years going down rabbit holes to figure out whatever I can do to get better at what I was doing at the time, to manage stress, to manage my personal life. You know, I read books, podcasts, did everything I could possibly do, and that time in my life, I reckon, has helped me today. And we live in a lucky time where the information's at our fingertips.
Yeah. Right.
You know, the support I got was through my own research and reading books, and to be honest with you, I feel like researching and getting an understanding of the human body and why we get anxiety and why we get stressed and the cortisol releases and the adrenaline and why that happens is phenomenal when you look into it. You know, we're an animal that doesn't get chased by lions anymore, but these systems evolved during times when we were the prey.
And we have a conscience.
Correct.
That's the worst thing.
Correct.
Animals don't have consciences, so they say. And they're not stressed about stuff.
So
they're
they
not
say.
stressed about what they look like or how they feel.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe that one day the science might say that they do.
What traits do you think your parents gave you?
I think my dad taught me to be a hard worker.
Right.
Show up at work, show up on time.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice.
Work hard whilst you're being paid. Mum taught me to have an open mind.
Right.
Because it's actually a funny story that I'll never forget. Dad used to take me fishing a lot. Some good memories there, very good memories. Yeah, one time he took me out of school. We were in class and Dad took me out of class.
Well, what a buzz.
And he said, we're going fishing. He took me fishing. Let's go fishing a lot. But Dad had a very narrow mind, and so did my grandfather. And I'd go fishing with Dad a lot, and then I'd go fishing with my grandfather a lot. And I remember my grandfather would say, don't listen to your father. He doesn't know what he's talking about. and then Dad would say, don't listen to your grandfather. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm taking the Kingswood.
Yeah. And I'd go home to Mum one day and I was frustrated about it. And I was just, who do I listen to? And she said, well, why don't you choose what you like out of what your father does and choose what you like about what your grandfather does, and maybe you'll become the ultimate little fisherman. So, yeah, I think that taught me to have a really open mind, and
that's good.
when I was around narrow-minded people.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So, how did you get in? Why construction? Was it a slow thing? Was it, what attracted you to?
I wasn't.
construction?
Well, seeing Dad grow as a carpenter growing up, I wasn't interested in being a carpenter. I wasn't interested in getting into construction.
Because you're surrounded by it all the time, is it?
Yeah, it just didn't interest me. I was more into my sports, I was trying to make it in rugby league and kind of played in the representative sides back home, and really loved my sports. I was into my athletics and thought maybe I'll do something in sports, but I wasn't an academic. So I started doing some labouring on the holidays with Dad. And
$10 an hour, is it?
Oh, less. So
for your dad, it's always less.
Less. Well, he worked for another builder, and then I just would work in his team.
Okay.
In his crew. So, and then eventually as a school teacher, because I was never a bad kid at school, but I was just never interested. And a school teacher called my mum one time and said, this is when I just started year 11, right at the start of year 11. She said, look, we really love Ty, he's a good kid, but he's wasting his time here. Can you just pull him out of school and go tell him to get a trade?
But you weren't a troublemaker.
I wasn't a troublemaker,
just
no.
Head was somewhere
Yeah,
else.
I just was somewhere else. School just wasn't for me.
Yeah,
I feel like I've done most of my learning much later in life. I was a kid that was just needed to be running around in the bush.
Yeah.
When I was younger, not stuck in a classroom. And I think that goes for a lot of boys, to be honest with you. And so then I ended up leaving school and labouring for the old man in the construction company that he worked for back home, for the builder. And then just saying, stuff it, I'll just sign up for an apprenticeship. What's the worst that could happen?
Okay, so what year was that?
Well, I think I was, I reckon it was probably around 2004.
Okay, 2004. So there was no technical arts at school. You didn't do much at school then, right? So that's when you got into it, and you started helping your father.
Yeah, did an apprenticeship with a real old school style builder.
Okay.
Just a real old builder, like a lot of pole homes on the hills and back of the sunny coast, and yeah, just got into it. Ended up liking it.
Yeah, okay.
Started to find a love for it, and then ended up getting signed off and being a qualified carpenter at around the age of I was about
That's great,
20.
Man.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Yes.
So did you leave like year 10?
It was. I did year 10 and I started year 11 and I left after a couple of months.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're about 15 and a half, 16.
When I left, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Right. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That's great, because not many kids will do that.
Yeah, it was good. Back in those days, there wasn't a lot of kids doing it at all,
So I'd just like to jump back. When you were a youth in your teens, or 13, 14, was there any individual or occurrence or moment or person that inspired you?
No individual. No moment that I can remember. Probably just, I had a good group of mates. A really good group of mates, and I'm still friends with all those mates today.
That's great.
Yeah, we would surf a lot.
Who are they? Can you shout out to them?
Yeah, I got Jason Measures. We call him Measures. He was the best man at my wedding. Come from similar sort of backgrounds and childhoods. He was actually here this year. Came for a visit.
Oh, okay.
Start. I got a couple of mates, Matty Parsons, Sean Renshaw, Mika, the boys. Dane Joyce is a good one. He was another groomsman. Lad named Critter. He's over in the UK now. Yeah, we had
Cool.
good group of mates.
They do similar So similar. What was the main interest for you guys that kept you together?
Mate, we just were little animals and we'd party. we'd drink till the sun would come up.
Okay.
You know, when you're together with your mates, like whatever, nothing else matters.
Wow.
You leave all your troubles behind and you just go have fun.
That's good. That's good.
We'd surf a lot.
Surfing, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was good.
So, tell us how you got into the film TV game.
So, back when I finished my apprenticeship, I had a mate that worked on Survivor. Jimmy Page is his name, actually, James Page.
Right.
And his uncle was a guy by the name of Dan Monday. And at the time, Dan Monday was looking for a carpenter, and my mate floated my name to him and said, "Oh, my mate Ty's just finished his apprenticeship." And so Dan called me up and said, "Would you like to come for a job interview?" And actually, I think he came and met me out on one of my job sites.
Gotcha.
When I was on the tools somewhere, and we had a few chats. And then, funny enough, he said, "Come for another job interview," which happened to be at Dan Monday's Bucks party back home.
Okay, right.
Because they wanted me to come up and meet all the crew and things like that. And there was some names of some guys there, like that I still work with today, like Jesse Jensen was there, and Zach Jensen, Muzzer Ross, and Simo Ross was there.
Yep.
They're all at this Bucks 2 up at Noosa.
Right.
And that's where I met them all again, and then eventually got the job after mingling with them that night.
So that was in your 20s?
Might have been just 22. Ended up in Samoa that year, building sets with them. Yeah, it was good.
And then you got married, then you jumped back out of the game?
Yeah, so I kind of did
You
it.
were saying before,
I did it.
10 years or
I was
something?
single before I met my wife. I did it for a couple of years, and then on the third year, we'd met. Well, during the period when I was already signed up to come back to my third gig on Survivor, and I ended up spending 5 months away from her.
Right.
And it was a long distance thing, and I actually flew her out during the break and said, "Would you like to come out and visit me?" And she flew out, and then after that season, I gave it a miss because I thought I didn't want to be away from her anymore.
That's nice.
So
That's
yeah,
good. I can see that you love your job. Are there times in a project that can bother you?
mate, it's really hard to bother me when I'm here, working here with these locals on these sets. It doesn't even matter to me if something goes wrong.
Right.
I don't really care. I like seeing how we can solve the problems. Season 49 set, the big... Oops, stop.
Wait, yeah, we can talk about that later. This probably won't be released till later anyway. But anyway,
Oh, really?
we don't
Okay,
have
sorry,
to-
I was about to realise that. It's had a big pot of shit. Have to edit that in.
Yeah, I edited that one out. When did you realise that you could run a team? And do you like it? Would you prefer to work alone?
When I was younger, I just enjoyed, you know, it was not like running a team of blokes, to be honest.
Okay.
Sounds funny. Running a crew.
A crew.
Of
That sounds better.
local workers.
Right.
And finding a way to make them work wasn't being their boss. Finding a way to make them work was being their friend.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
finding their individual strengths is that's when you find the magic. You can't just go out there, and when you're working in these countries with these locals, which by the way is my favourite part about this gig here working in Spider,
Right.
is you cannot just go out there and start bossing these guys around.
No.
You've got to find a way to make them happy in what they do.
You have to lead from the front.
Correct.
You've got to get their respect, and then they'll start doing it. And Ty, I've seen Ty do that all the time on set.
It's my favourite part is getting these boys together, these locals that I work with. And you know, currently got 32 local Fijians that I have working under me.
You just take them back to the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Start a company there.
And then just to be the camaraderie and the fun they had, man. These guys, you know, like last year when I came here last year, and I did and I built the set for season 47, built the structure. I probably wasn't mentally in a good place last year before I came. And, you know, I was very miserable in my workplace, and it was, 10 years of really not enjoying my job. I was probably getting to that point where, it's just starting to wear me down a bit. And I came here and I worked with these guys, and they taught me something. They just taught me to find the magic again and find the happiness.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and I sat down with them, before I left last year. So I want to thank you guys for showing me that happiness.
Isn't it?
Thank you. So, yeah.
What are some of the biggest projects you've worked on, apart from Survivor?
I mean, I've run big warehouse sheds back home.
Okay.
I've done multiple townhouses.
The big sheds, is that prefabricated stuff? Put together?
Big steel portals, a lot of big cranes lifting stuff, and just big warehouse sheds, huge warehouse sheds. So.
Mass production, is it?
No, it's not mass production. It's just a big commercial job site.
Right.
Big steel structures, a lot of concrete. Did a big warehouse. I did a extension of a gymnastics centre up in Noosa, which was a huge building, and then done a transfer station for a rubbish tip.
So that would involve all the elements, like you're saying, steel, concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like concrete? Pouring concrete slabs? You done much of that?
Mate, I actually enjoy working with concrete in small forms. I've run as a site manager concrete pours where we do 100 cubes plus per day, which is in the scheme of things small, but I mean, you're turning up, you got your safety paperwork out, you got 10 angry concreters staring at you at 4:30 in the morning. It's not a nice work environment. It's horrible work environment. Concrete's a product that, it's not going to wait for you. It's a product that's on a clock.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these concreters are the toughest men you'll ever meet in your life.
All right.
And they're probably also the biggest substance abusers you'll ever meet in your life too.
Right.
But it's just a very hard job,
I can't imagine doing it six days a week either.
No, I've never been a full-time concreter. Done quite a lot.
What about welding? You enjoy that?
I haven't done a lot of welding. I can weld, but haven't done a lot of welding. No,
Right.
Welding's probably one of my things that I haven't really dived into much.
Have you done like detailed cabinetry or something?
I've done a lot of joinery installs, like kitchen installs and things like that.
Yeah.
Detailed joinery is something that doesn't really exist in the industry anymore.
Right.
It's kind of faded out whilst these kitchen companies are coming in and taking it all. It's a little bit different. The industry that I remember as an apprentice is not the same as it is back home now, the construction industry.
Gotcha. Do you prefer big budgets or small budgets?
Probably small budgets. I prefer to work on a custom built house that has a budget that suits the project. Nowadays, I just feel like capitalism is just constantly ruining the industry, where it's just all about making that buck. It's all about the bottom dollar. And I get that. People need to make money. But the craft's gone. When I did my apprenticeship, it was slow down, do it right, and do it once. Now it's like speed and efficiency, hurry up. We need to make the money, and it's just, if you want to do something well, a lot of guys these days, they want really good quality work, and they want it as fast as possible. And you just don't get those two things together.
And so do you think AI will improve the situation?
No, I think AI is...
You think it's good?
I think AI is currently making it worse. Because what's going on, and this is my personal opinion, is that a lot of these builders now are using software, which enables them to be able to manage more projects. Gotcha. And that doesn't mean they've got more men on the ground or more people in the office. They've just got a management system that helps them to have all of their projects integrated into some software.
It's all down to the infantry.
Correct. So it's right. The boys on the ground are the ones producing the product, and I always see it time and time again in the construction industry back home now, where you just got to overload your boys with more work than what they can handle.
Gotcha.
and then the mistakes start happening, and I've kind of lost my niche in the construction industry back home. I don't know where it is anymore.
First we had the Greeks, the Romans, then perhaps the Egyptians, or before that, sorry. The Romans, and the Chinese had their period, then you've got the French, the British, and the US. Who's the next big empire of construction?
Well, we're kind of a global empire at the moment, in my opinion. It seems to be, every country's got their own thing going on. But I don't know, in my opinion, if there's ever been, in my time, or if there ever will be, an individual company that is the empire of construction. It's a global thing now.
Okay.
We're resourcing materials from here and it's coming in for here. I mean, Australia's exporting stuff to China and then buying it back off them, all that kind of stuff. So it's more of just such a global industry now. Back home in Australia, it's like people are ordering tiles from Italy and places like that have massive lead times, and we just find a way to make this in-house.
Yeah, right.
Now, I'll tell you some bad things about not necessarily AI. These platforms like Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and, I don't know other ones I could name, but what happens in construction back home is people come to you with a photo and they say, I want my house to look like this. And I say, that's a photoshopped photo. It's impossible. But because we're in a time where we're living in a time where this is literally our information and that photo, and people want everything to look like that, they want it to happen in real life, So, I've had people in tears, and you build this gorgeous, beautiful bathroom, and they'll cry because it doesn't look like this photo on their phone that someone's photoshopped on Pinterest or
that's I've seen these apps. Interior design apps.
Yeah.
It's like, well, where are you going to put the door?
Yeah.
You have to get in the room.
But it's just people have got unrealistic standards now. Unrealistic standards. And it's sad because, when I was an apprenticeship, everyone would go in and look at the carpenter's work.
Right.
They would look at the architraves, the skirting, this carpenter's, everything's really neat and square. What a beautiful house, everything's great. Now they go in and they're looking at the gorgeous fancy tapware. They're looking at, the shiny door handles and things like that, because we've got access to these things. And these shiny things are the stuff that they Photoshop really well.
That's right.
And they don't look the same in real life.
So AI is a problem, depending on how you use it.
It can be the mentality of the people, because, people want way more for less now. Things are expensive now. Things cost a lot of money.
Gotcha.
So people don't, it's hard to spend the money for what, people want, what things cost. It's insane. The construction industry back home, the pandemic cooked it. It was horrible.
Can you explain what happened?
The Australian government at the time, who did a horrible job managing heaps of things, in my opinion, and to be honest with you, I never really get into politics, but they put out a stimulus package for people wanting to because they wanted to stimulate the construction industry during the pandemic, because they thought the work was going to go down, and I can't remember the exact figures, I'll butcher it if I tell you, but everyone within Australia who owned a home had if they wanted to do a renovation up to certain, like 150,000 or whatever the figure was, the government would give them 25 grand. Someone wanted to build a new home, the government would give them, and 25 grand mightn't be the exact figure either. I might have butchered that too, but somewhere around that. But it overstimulated the industry.
Right.
And there was supply chain issues. And also, this was at the time of some crazy bushfires back home and some floods as well, which also didn't help with the supplies and the supply chains. So these people are, and then the other thing that was really horrible is then there became a rental shortage during the pandemic. So what happened in construction during the pandemic and after, and it's kind of carried on till now, is that, back in the day, someone would sign up to build a home. They would just go get a rental, and if the project went over, because that's another thing, there's always unrealistic timelines. If the project went over, then people would be able to extend their lease wherever they were staying. Now, because there's a rental shortage, you know, I had clients living in tents, and they're screaming at you saying, "Why I'm living in a tent because it's your fault because you haven't got my house finished." It was a horrible time.
Partly due to the supply industry.
It was the rental shortage, it was the supply, it was the pandemic. Clients weren't sympathetic to the lockdown. This is in my experience.
Yeah.
So the lockdowns would happen. So you get, when they first opened the borders in Queensland, say if you had a plumber, he came down with COVID, he had to go isolate for the 7 days or whatever it was. That would put the project back 7 days because you would have to wait for the plumber to do his thing, for the roll-on trade to come in and do his thing. I had some clients that weren't sympathetic towards that at all. They said, "We don't care."
I was going to ask you what's the zaniest thing you've ever seen in the industry, and that sounds like it.
I had a chat to a lad who's a friend of one of my best mates back home, and he said he had clients calling him up suicidal.
Yeah, that's horrific.
Yeah, and he sold his company and never wants to have anything to do with the industry again.
Wow.
He left.
Wow.
And I said to him, "What are you going to do now? You're going to do something else in the industry?" He said, "No, I'm leaving this industry forever. Never coming back."
That's
Yeah. You know, I had clients in front of me in
it
tears.
sounds shocking.
Because
It really is.
as the site manager of a home, and especially if you're working for a company who doesn't support you, and during this period I had terrible support, you're the person in front of the client who's crying because it's so emotional. They're spending their life savings,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why I'm so happy to be away from it. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it takes a person who doesn't have. I get mentally attached because I don't want to see people sad,
Yep.
as I discussed earlier. I don't want to see people unhappy.
Mm.
So then I get mentally attached, and I try to help these people. And you know, my wife would say to me, "You need to create boundaries because I can see it's eating up on the inside." It's
So,
hard.
vote one, Craine.
It's pretty simple, mate. We all just need to be nice. We all just need to find a way to make, you know, people around us happy. Let's just all be happy. Starts with the person sitting next to you, really.
That's right.
It's as simple as that.
So you've worked on many locations. Name some issues that, apart from the weather, that may crop up.
Yeah, well, see, some of these locations, you get ridiculous heat, you get ridiculously wet, you get the wind. You know, the weather to me, one thing, if it's raining, it's going to ruin the tools. So you put the tools away, you pull out the hammer and nail, and you keep punching on because
Oh, that's good. I like
we're in a
that.
film schedule
It's
here.
like Castaway.
When you're working on a film schedule, I was always taught by the guys when I first started in the game, rain, hail or shine, because you're on a film schedule. The show doesn't stop. Once
That's
the show
right.
starts filming, the contestants are getting wet. You know, I haven't got a lot of experience in the movies back home, the film sets back home. All I know is I was taught at a young age to push on, no matter what. Find a way to push on.
That's insightful, actually. I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
so, but there's a trick. The thing is about it is, like, you can't push your team out in the rain if you're not going to lead them first. You got to go head first. You got to be out there before them in the rain. And I say to those my guys too, when we're pushing on in the rain, I say you don't have to be out here with me.
Okay.
And generally, when I say that and it's raining, and it's horrible, and you're wet, your shoes are wet, your chocks are wet, everything's it's generally they'll follow you out there.
Yeah.
And you'll actually have some of the best times of your life. Everyone loses their mind and starts screaming and chirping and having fun. For some reason, you just go, well, couldn't get any worse.
What about health and safety? Do you think it's improved in the game?
For me, in film, I've got an interesting perspective with my experience in film in terms of health and safety. So, I did a lot of work in commercial building back home, where the safety is over the top, in my opinion. It's all about the paperwork and covering your ass and passing the buck. You know, I remember a company put us through scaffolding courses back home, so I'm actually a licensed scaffolder. because they knew that if something went wrong with the scaffold, they could pass the buck. That's the way I see it anyway. But here, in this game, in the film that, the Survivor that I work in, my perspective on safety is that, and I've only ever had one injury on all of my jobs. These locals look out for each other. There's not always a handrail. There's not always a hard hat. And I think what happens if you start putting handrails, important. But back home, people are so used to it that if they just need it all there now.
The Chinese have this mentality: if there's a hole, don't step in it.
Mate, I just wish that we also need to be liable for our own actions. Yeah. We need to try and be more present and watch where we're walking.
Gotcha.
We can't just rely on everyone else to make us safe. I just like, in this game, watching the locals. They look out for each other, man. They do. They look. There's a watch out, don't fall. They're always screaming.
Yeah, right.
Be careful up there. And
that's a good point.
They're all just looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And they have to. They don't have the, when we're in these countries like this, they don't have the safety when we're not here. We bring the safety to them. But it's
common sense.
It's nothing compared to what I'm used to back home. I went from it being super over the top to back in the Wild West. And this is where I want to be, in the Wild West. It suits me more.
That's good. I can see that.
I prefer to be in the Wild West.
That's good. So would you prefer to build Survivor or be a contestant?
I'd probably prefer to build it. Just to keep getting the experience I get with the locals is what it's all about for me. I learn from them. I learn so much from them. Yeah, I'd probably prefer to build it. But mind you, it'd be pretty cool being a contestant too, having a crack at it. Be pretty funny. Only because I feel like the survival side of it wouldn't faze me at all.
Okay, so what's your favourite part of the world?
Favourite part of the world. San Juan del Sur in Nicaragua holds a pretty close place in my heart.
Wow.
Yeah, enjoyed it there. Really enjoyed it.
There was a job there, is that right?
Yeah, we did a season. We did 2 seasons there in Nicaragua.
Wow.
San Juan.
And how's the geography?
Mate, amazing.
Food?
Food's phenomenal. The surf's outstanding. You get an offshore wind all the time. There's just these headlands everywhere. The culture's great. The parties were great. It was fun. I love Latin America. Central America is great.
Favourite food?
Probably Mexican, but
what's the cheese?
Well, it's got to be authentic Mexican. I travelled through Mexico. Oaxaca City is a phenomenal place for food. Oaxaca City in Mexico. That you could, and even all the other side of the Yucatan Peninsula there, and went through a few places there, and then just the tacos. Del Pastor was one, and yeah.
And can you speak any other languages now that
I can't fluently speak other languages, but I got a lot of words that I can use. I can get by in Spanish-speaking countries. I can definitely order a beer.
Right.
I can order food.
It's all out of desperation. You learn words.
And interestingly enough, my Spanish was all right in construction because that's where I learnt Spanish. Okay. But definitely by no means fluent in Spanish. My wife is fluent in Spanish. She lived in Honduras for several years when she was younger.
Wow.
And that's where she's as fluent as it gets. So
that's good. Drink?
Yeah, I drink.
Favourite drink?
Love a good beer. Love a good beer, mate. I'd say beer. It's funny when the kids every year when they'd come through school they'd get a questionnaire and they'd fill it out and the teachers would ask all these questions and every time on mine it would say Dad, it's for Father's Day.
Yeah.
And it would say Dad's favourite drink and it would always say beer. I try not to abuse it too much when I'm back home. I leave it alone on the weekdays. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope,
Favourite film?
Favourite film? That's a tricky one. I'm going to say my favourite comedy would be a Will Ferrell movie, Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Never gets old.
And TV series?
I'd probably go Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is great.
Wow.
Nothing can come close to that in my opinion.
What's your favourite way to relax, or pastime, or hobby?
Probably going for a good surf would be up there. Fishing's a great one too. I like just getting out in the bush and doing nothing. Not necessarily hiking. You know, camping's a big one. The family and I go camping a lot. We'll go up Noosa North Shore, up there. Towards
How old's your kids again?
9, 6 and 3.
Wow, that's so nice.
Yeah, so we like to get in a tent.
So you're due for another one?
Nope. No more. Definitely not.
Every 3 years.
No, all done. We're pretty content with the kids and the family life's great. So,
You got a favourite joke?
when my son was here, he goes, "Knock knock,
Who's there?
Europe."
You're a poo.
No, Europe. The kids' jokes are the big ones at the moment. You know, they go all day long.
So will there ever be an Academy Award for a construction manager?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Academy Awards, but
Maybe a gold logie?
who knows what of these last couple of sets or the last one I've just done is going to produce is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Should there be one?
Well, I'm being selfish. I would say yes, but it's a group effort.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, well, I think that set we just worked on anyway. We all deserve. If that set won an award, which I don't know if it ever will. I don't know how it works with these things, but
Mate,
it would be a team effort thing.
you've got some talent. Yeah, that's for sure. Chippies, painters, set dressers, props makers. Yeah. If you could choose another role in this industry, what would that be?
That's a tough one because I feel like I've landed in the one that I want.
Okay. What if it wasn't available? What would you do?
I'd probably go back to building challenges. I want to build things.
So
I want to be working with the locals.
no lighting or anything like that?
Not interested in lighting.
Audio?
No, none of it interests me. I like the construction.
If you could choose a role away from this game, anything, what would that be?
I'm super fascinated with anthropology
Okay.
and archaeology.
How long has that been? I've been in there.
Probably when I left the Philippines in Cagayan.
Okay.
I bought a National Geographic magazine and I read through it here and there. And, you know, we're up north in Cagayan, Philippines. It's the very north of the Philippines, like just no one's going there.
Right.
And working away with the locals there in the Philippines, but there was this one other character up there who looked different. And I said to some of the locals, I said, who's he? Where's he from? And they said, oh, he's indigenous. He's indigenous to the Philippines. I said, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know there was an indigenous. I was just learning about the Philippine history. And then, so they call them the Negritos. And they look exactly the same as the Australian Aboriginals.
Right.
And the Papua New Guineans. And randomly, when I left the Philippines, I opened the National Geographic magazine on the aeroplane to an article about the Negritos, the Papua New Guineans, and the Australian Aboriginals, and it was a migration path that they all shared. It's a theory that they all potentially migrated down through the Philippines during the Ice Age when it was all connected.
Right.
And they all share the same DNA. The Negritos, the Papua New Guineans, and the Australian Aboriginals.
Oh, there you go.
And I was fascinated with it, and it just brought me down this rabbit hole of being obsessed with going, well, the migration of our species during those times, during the Ice Age, it's just, what was the world like back then?
Yeah.
You know, just solely hunters and gatherers.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
If I could get in a time machine, I'd be going back to just see what they were doing. You know, in archaeology too, like there's some amazing old sites around the world that I'd like to go and visit. I've been to a series.
What building fascinates you? Like what piece of construction architecture?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed seeing. I really enjoyed going to Tikal in Guatemala and seeing the ruins there. Like this, it's like the second tallest pyramid in the world in Tikal. You know, and just those pyramids and being a builder. You know, I'm a builder now back home. So I've got a licensed builder. I'm not working for anyone else anymore back home. Where I'm at now. So I look at things through the perspective of a builder and go, and I'm like, how are these things built? You know, because they're not giving me an explanation that's convincing me, and I'm not going down any like weird conspiratorial roads and saying aliens built them, because that's not the case.
Right.
I just look at them and go, this is, I would love it if some construction workers got to come on a field trip with some archaeologists who are the ones that are explaining how these things were built. Because these archaeologists they're not explaining how they were built through the eyes of the builder. You know, they're just using their evidence and they're piecing things together, whereas I can tell them right now that how they're saying some of these things were built, I just don't buy it.
Right.
You know? So I like the ones in Tikal. I stare at it, and and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I've been to a few more up there, the Mayan ruins through Central America. The pyramids blow my mind.
Yep. Right.
You know, I'd love to go and see them. The Colosseum's a phenomenal thing to stare at.
I was fortunate enough to get there and have a look.
Those
blocks.
It's just wild,
It
isn't it?
must be 45 metres.
It's just insane. It's a think what they're doing there, hey?
Yeah, and it's and they're really worn, underneath. Big chunks of missing, and it's all black and stone, and just filth. And
Crazy times. Yeah, the pyramids. I like all those old monolithic structures. They're amazing. It's cool that we got those pieces of history still sitting on planet Earth.
nice. So, what would be your best advice for an up-and-coming construction body?
Well, I've always finish your apprenticeship, get your trade, because you never know where it'll take you.
Right.
You know, and for me, just being a residential chippy back home in Australia, I finished my apprenticeship, and then here I am, building the biggest set on the longest lasting reality TV show in the history of TV, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something special, and I'm just thinking if I didn't finish that apprenticeship, they wouldn't have looked at me.
Exactly.
Get that trade behind you, get the experience, listen. If you don't like it, don't do it. Especially when you're young and you don't have, if you're not married and you don't have kids. That's your opportunity at that time in your life to go find something you love.
That's good.
Go do something you love. Because when you're married and you've got kids, then you're in the survival game again. You're working to make an income and feed the kids.
And if you can't do that, go and find the second thing you most love and try and make that a job.
Yeah, fully. Well, you just spend so much time too at work. Like it's so much of your life that if you're going to go to work, for 5 days a week for 10 hours a day, that's a lot of your life.
That's true.
And Carl Barron has this funny joke. He's like, I don't know if you've heard of it. He's like, I started concrete and I thought, this is shit. So I gave it another 10 years. So I gave it another 10 years. It's like, it's such a culture. It's such a culture back home. It's like, this is shit. I don't want to be. Go do something else. Especially being from Australia too, where we live in the country of opportunity, where it is so easy to get work. It is so easy to get work in Australia. All you have to do is have a good attitude and just show up.
A lot of Asian countries seem to be overqualified and they don't have the jobs. What about Australia? Are we overqualified? And are the jobs there?
I think we're what's the word I'm looking for here? I think we're over entitled.
Right. Yes. Great.
I honestly see that in the culture at the moment. I think, when's my break? I get this, I deserve that. And I, to be honest, tell you that the unions have brought in a lot of that mentality.
Yeah.
I'm not a union fan at all. I just think, especially the younger generation coming up now, the attitude's not there and the drive's not there. And I used to think, when I was doing my apprenticeship, we got pushed pretty hard. We got screamed at. We made a mistake. The boss was telling us that's coming out of our pay.
Yeah, that's it.
And I used to look at that and think, that can't be the right way to do it. You're living in fear all the time. And maybe that's right. But now look at these kids now. There's no fear.
No, that's right.
There's no respect.
Yeah.
We really need to respect our elders and we really need to respect our peers. These young kids that are coming up now, if you confine yourself under someone that's really qualified and really good at what they do, that's who you should be following. You should, you should shadow that person and try and, you should try and get their work ethic. You should get their skills, and you should harness that and use it for yourself.
So true. So true.
Yeah,
so what does the future hold for Ty Craine?
I really want to focus on having a better lifestyle back home. I want to keep coming back here to do these smaller stints that I do for as long as the kids want to do it. The kids come here to Fiji with me, with my wife. They spend about a month here, and my wife doesn't want to give them the hotel life. She takes them into the village most of the week, and they spend a lot of time.
Isn't that great?
It's amazing, mate, and I just feel so blessed that my wife does that with them, because it's amazing that she's giving them this other education and this other understanding that there's other life out there. And then, my son has a little friend in the village, and my daughter was teaching a class at the school in the village, and what those kids are learning from being down there is an important life experience.
Yeah.
It's a very important life experience for them.
Amazing. Well, let's hope it continues, mate.
Yes. So.
Which leads me to this next thing. So, in one or a few words, describe these people. Zach Jensen.
Zach Jensen, he's currently my boss. He's the production designer, supervising producer, or whatever his title is. I don't actually know what his title is of the art department. Met him when I was 22, when I first started on the show. Worked with him over the years. He's a good boss. Gives us free run. Always cracking a joke. Which I like that too, because I've been in.
And I think if you can have a boss that gives you freedom to do
Yeah.
what you got to do, it's
He's got a lot
very
of trust.
important.
He's got a lot of trust in his workers.
That's nice. Nice.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay. Muzzer Ross.
Muzzy Ross, first guy to take me under his wing when I first started working on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, we flew over together on an aeroplane. I met him in the airport back home after I met him at Dear Monday's Bucks party. And I was just a little 22-year-old kid. He looked after me, made sure I wasn't left out.
Oh, that's nice.
He was the first guy I worked with on the show. Worked under him on a challenge.
Very nice.
He was the one that taught me we push on in the rain.
That's good. Good on you.
Part of the old school. First day I met him, he made me go halves in a bottle of tequila.
Wow. Well, he's a bit of a terror too back then.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. We've had some good parties over the years. Doesn't live far away. We catch up for dinner a lot back home. Bring the kids around. He's good with the kids. He's good life. Good friend.
Yeah.
Good lad. Good friend.
Nice. Lincoln Head.
Got the pleasure of working with him last year and this year. This year I got to know him a bit more. Big character. Good Aussie lad. He's got super thick skin, which I value in a person.
Nice. Yeah.
It's good. We can joke around.
Nice.
Nothing seems to faze him. Good at what he does. He's a good scenic artist. He's another one of the guys just like you that have showed me scenic art.
That's nice. Yeah.
So and I got the pleasure of spending a lot of time with him out there on the set this year.
Nice.
Good lad. Got a lot of respect for him.
Bertsy Limpjack.
Bertie. Love Bertie. So her and my wife were on the dream team together in the
right.
Philippines in Cagayan. So they became good friends. What was that? That was back in 2013.
I see.
Partied a lot. Bertie, she's currently engaged to Muzzer Ross. So that goes without saying, she's a really good friend.
That's
She's a bit of a legend. I remember her driving us around Manila. She's from the Philippines. She's from Manila, and we drove around Manila in a car with her one time. She was driving like a
she's
maniac.
great. She's got good energy,
Yeah, we went and stayed at her parents' house one time in Manila when she wasn't even there.
Okay.
And we had our eldest was 1.5.
That's
We went
nice.
through Manila. We went and stayed with Betsy's parents, and they fed us and had some beers with her dad. Yeah, it's
Nice.
been a pleasure knowing Bertie.
Jesse Jensen.
Jesse Jensen, he was my first boss. Jesse Jensen and Dan Monday, first boss on Survivor. Started working under Jesse back in, when I first started in 2009. Good boss, got a lot of respect for Jesse. Always, he's one of those good, he's now the EP on Survivor, and he's just one of those good bosses that you can still just talk to like a mate. You know what I mean?
He's very, easy going. He's very nice.
You don't have to go, oh, there's the big boss, let's stay away. Like he's very approachable.
That's nice.
It's good having lunch with him here and there, and he's a good lad.
Luke Gasparini.
Luke Gasparini, met him on the show as well. He's probably one of my best mates that I've on the show. Probably did a lot of travel with him. Got a lot of respect for him. Travelled with him and his partner. Worked together. He's a very talented prop maker.
Very talented.
Very talented prop maker. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Miss him.
Nah, that's
Haven't
nice.
seen him in a while.
That's
I haven't seen him since we went down the Blue Mountains 5 or 6 years ago now, and spent a week there with him and his family.
Simo Ross.
Simo Ross, Muzz's twin brother.
Yeah.
Try not to say twin sister then. Muzz's twin brother. Got the same relationship as him as I do with Muzzer. He's a good mate from back home now as well.
Nice.
He doesn't live far away. And
Right.
he's actually the reason that I came back.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having dinner at the Marcoola Surf Club back home, and Simo was on his way out and came back in and had a drink with us, and we all ended up a bit drunk by the end of the night. And
So come on, mate, come back.
Well,
come
I think
on.
I might have
can hear him.
I was telling him that I miss it, that I miss the show, and Simo's like, "Come on, we got some starter gigs starting up next year," and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be away from the family."
Yeah.
He's like, "You can bring them. It's the startup. You can bring them." And
That's
I
nice.
remember at the end of the night, I was like, "I'll call you tomorrow," and we were drunk, and he said, "You're not going to call me." And then the next morning, I woke up and Bree's like, "Call Simo Ross."
That's
I called Simo, and he's the one that made it all happen, and he's the reason the family came in last year and this year. So
That's
I originally
so
was
nice.
going to be working back with him, building challenges, because he's the production designer for art department now. He designs all the challenges and
Yeah.
looks after that side of things. And it was just last minute that I ended up back working with Muzz.
Brendan Longboss.
Long boss. Just getting to know him a bit this year. This is the first time I've worked with him.
Okay, right.
I haven't worked with him before.
Right.
Set dresser.
Yep.
He's the standby props here at Tribal Council.
He's got a good attitude. Mate.
Good attitude. He's a hard worker. Hard
Yeah,
worker.
very, very hard, yeah. Skill.
He's skilled. Loves throwing darts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loves drinking scotch. So yeah, I haven't really had the chance to get to know him too much, but he's a good lad. Got nothing bad to say, that's for sure.
A few others. Fijian lads. Teapot.
Teapot there. He's a local here in Fiji. He's a local carpenter, local builder actually. He's got a building company here in Fiji,
Right.
and they call him Teapot, and which is funny that you asked that. They call him Teapot, Teapot there. His name's actually Tafita.
Right.
We call him Teapot because back in the day, apparently he got a boil under his arm here, and he would walk around like this. So they
Oh, look at that
nicknamed
Teapot.
him Teapot. And it's funny you ask, because today he actually had the day off because he's got a boil under his arm in the
Oh, there
same
you
spot,
go.
and
Right.
he's in a lot of pain, and everyone's laughing at him and calling him Teapot again.
Oh, that's
So yeah, he's
okay. Junior.
Junior's my local foreman. Love the guy like a brother.
That's nice.
You know,
Keeps the job running smooth, eh?
yeah, just more. Yeah, he does, but more of us to become a good friend.
Nice.
know.
Nice.
When I left last year, I'd call him up and we'd video call, and
That's nice.
he's a good lad, and we can talk. I'd like to have a beer with him.
Yeah, that's
Miss him when I was missed him last year when I left.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good friend, good worker, very talented local Fijian.
That's nice. Young Weiss.
Young, wise
Isn't he
man.
the resident DJ or something?
I don't know if he's a D. Oh, he's oh, is he? Yeah. He gets sacked from the speaker a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, that kid he's a 23 or 24-year-old Fijian from Suva. I've never met such a thoughtful individual for that age in my life.
Wow.
Whenever it's someone's birthday, that guy will take it out of, he'll sneak off in his own break, spend his own money to buy a cake,
Wow,
and he will organise. I could show you the most amazing video. for my birthday, which is last week.
Aha, yeah.
And he organises it all, and he gets everyone together, and he makes it a big surprise happen. And he talks to one of, he spoke to Lincoln. He said, "Get tired. I'll hide him over here. I've got a surprise for him." And then the way that the lads just popped up out of nowhere, they were all singing "Happy Birthday," and they all had a cake, and it's just so thoughtful. And
It's nice.
He organised when the family left on his day off. He snuck over to the mainland, spent a bunch of his own money, and organised these fans that had the kids' names on them.
Wow.
So got all my kids a goodbye present, and my wife a bag, and
Nice.
just spending money out of his own pocket. He's just such a thoughtful kid. He's a good guy, a good worker. He's another friend that I'll keep for life too.
That's nice. And last of all, Craine.
My beautiful wife. Geez, how did I get her? She is an amazing girl. She's such an amazing girl. She's such an amazing mum to those children of mine. Like, I couldn't have asked for her to have a better mother for my children. Like, I don't know how I could even imagine a mother being better than her.
Yeah.
She's also such an amazing wife. She runs our household so well back home. She cooks all our own meals. All the meals are cooked. We eat like kings back home because she makes sure we're all fed well. The house is always amazing. She just never stops.
I think you've really been blessed.
I think I have too. I don't know how it happened.
Really,
But
really.
she must. Yeah, she's a beautiful wife. Very beautiful girl.
You're very lucky. Now, I think that brings us to an end of a wonderful conversation. I think we've all learnt a lot and wish the best for you, Ty. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a
Pleasure.
real pleasure.
Pleasure, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Well, we'll see you next time. How do you say goodbye in Spanish?
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hasta luego.
There
In
you go.
Fiji. Morde.
There you go. Good, eh? What is it? Mode.
Morde.
Mode.
Morde.
Thanks again, Ty.
No worries, Dave. Pleasure. All the best.